First thing is on the manual, when this thing comes, the ship's assembled, except for the table is not put on. Like most bandsaw tables, it's held on by 4 bolts that bolted to the trunnion set. The holes are bigger than the bolt, and so it can be misplaced by a degree or 2 degrees, and at least on this brand. On other brands it might be sloppier. By any means, the instruction manual just says put it on there and tighten it up, which I found out isn't good enough for resawing. So what we're going to do, the first step is to get the miter slot aligned with the blade, parallel to the blade. So what we have here is a piece of poplar that's been cut down to snugly fit into the trough. And then this stick here, which has a little notch cut in it, so that's where the teeth are. So it isn't affected by the teeth. This is the 3/4. And you can, you want to make sure that it is free, and you can see it oscillating here so that the mean of the oscillation is square.
It's just above the
You
table.
can clamp it against the table and then just raise a little bit with your...
Sure.
But if it was down tight, I guess once it stabilizes, I could put it down tight, but I like to have it free so you can see if it's staying square, just barely off the table. And I loosened it for this demonstration. See, it has about maybe a degree and a half, which might not seem like much, but it is. So we want to get the miter guide, square with the blade. So right at the center, lined up with the blade, we set the distance on a square or a block of wood if you want to make something, but most everybody has a square. And then we come out here and we see that it's not parallel, yes, to the miter. Okay, this is actually as far as it will go. If I were going to really worry about it that much, I would take the table off and remount the 4 holes or drill them slightly bigger so that there was more play, because it's up tight against it and it could still stand to be maybe a 64th of an inch over that distance. Now, fortunately, the kerf is thick enough so that it's not going to rub the blade body even with this little error. So now that we've gotten this rotated, go ahead and tighten down the table. It won't change, and more importantly, even if it does, because of the trunnion somehow being misaligned by the manufacturer, when it comes back to 0, and all resawing is going to happen at 0. When it comes back to 0, the trunnion will have been restored to its original setting. Well, I'm thinking of it, I guess, as a caution. I know it's common to move the table saw around on its mobile base if you have one by holding the table and pulling and pushing it. You really shouldn't. You should grab it by something that is permanently structural, like the body of the saw. Remember, this is a one-time setup for the life of your bandsaw, and so it's worth the maybe 2 hours of tedium of getting it done right. Okay.